don't sit with what others talk about you. When you hear others are gossiping, complaining, bitter with you, don't sit with those words. Don't let those words trouble you. Don't let their bitterness or gossip bother you. Because God, when He begins His work in your life, He will shut their mouths. He will begin to honor you right before their very eyes. We see we've been talking about that woman in the presence of Jesus for the last few days from the Gospel of Mark. Today we will just turn to the Gospel of Luke chapter 7 and speak about that sinful woman. Now she brings a very expensive perfume, pours it out upon Jesus, and at that very moment there are people around who are upset with the way she's doing things. And one of them is spoken of. It says in verse 39, and when the Pharisee who had invited him saw this, he spoke to himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, would know who and what manner of woman this is who is touching him, for she is a sinner. And Jesus answered and said to him, Simon, I have something to say to you. So he said, teacher, say it. Now Jesus and Simon the Pharisee are talking to each other. There are things happening. Now when you are sitting around and someone's talking about you, what naturally follows? Wouldn't our ears begin to move to listen to what they are talking about you? Wouldn't we immediately want to listen, what is going on there? What exactly are they talking about me? Now, that's the same thing happening in this place. The woman is at Jesus' feet. Jesus is talking to Simon the Pharisee, and the whole subject now is on this woman. Now, as he's speaking in verse 41, there was a certain creditor who had two debtors. One owed him 500 denarii and the other 50. And when they had nothing with which to repay, he freely forgave them both. Tell me, therefore, which of them will love him more? Simon answered and said, I suppose the one whom he forgave more. And he said to him, you have rightly judged. Then he turned to the woman and said to Simon, do you see this woman? Now he's speaking about the woman to Simon the Pharisee. I entered your house, you gave me no water for my feet, but she has washed my feet with her tears. Now verse 45 is very striking. It says, you gave me no kiss, but this woman has not ceased to kiss my feet since the time I came in. You see, so what he's saying is this woman has not stopped worshipping me, has not stopped kissing my feet. Even at that very moment when Jesus is talking about her to Simon the Pharisee, this woman is continuing worshipping God, worshipping Jesus, touching the heart of Jesus. She was not interested in what was being spoken about her, the gossip or the bitterness that Simon the Pharisee had, the negative words that Simon the Pharisee had to speak. She was not interested. She was not even interested about what Jesus was talking about her. She was just deep into worship with Jesus. She was just deep in love with Jesus. She was deep in her adoration of Jesus, not interested in what was being spoken. Today I want to tell you the same. Don't be bogged down with what people talk to you. Just stay connected to Jesus. Stay connected with the vine. Stay connected to Jesus. Worship Jesus. And I tell you, in front of everybody, Jesus will honor you. And what did Jesus do? He told Simon the Pharisee in verse 47, he says, therefore I say to you, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much. Jesus begins to declare to Simon the Pharisee, she loved much. In the Gospel of Mark, we see Jesus declaring what she has done will be spoken of everywhere. Today I want to tell you, in front of your enemies, God will begin to honor you. But instead of being worried about what your enemies talk about you, you need to just ignore it, overlook it, and just keep worshiping Jesus. And He will honor you in the presence of your enemies. That's what He speaks in Psalm 23. You prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. That's what God will do to you. Stop getting bogged down or bickering or complaining about what people talk about you, and start keeping your eyes fixed on Jesus, and He will surely honor you.